Bilko. We are here at the Nitro World Games FMX Best Trick Comp. We have the Moon Booter ramp, which is 15 foot tall, 4 foot wide. We have the front foot ramp, 8.4 foot tall, 2 foot wide, and the landing, 23 foot tall and 61 feet long. These ramps make for some awesome action, so come watch it. This is what it looks like from my point of view. All right, so we're gonna line up the Moon Booter. Throw a little no-hander flip, first gear, second gear, third gear. Way, get her in, and land. Oh, stretch it out, grab the bars, and land, woo! Woo!
I'm digging the onboard cam shots right there with Blake Bilko Williams having a little too much fun out there, but showing you from the POV view what it's like doing a no-handed backflip right there, kicking off the Moon Booter.
I feel like he very much has to say that to himself. Put the hands back on, right away smooth, in that order, you know what I mean?
Just has to remind himself as he's coming around out of the rotation that, hey, by the way, put your hands back on. I know you're having too much fun. By the way, Bilko is going to kick off the party here. He's going to be the first athlete that we see as we get this competition started. This gentleman right here, he's a regular on the Nitro Circus shows. As you know, you get to spend a lot of time on the road with these guys. He was the first international rider to win an X Games freestyle moto gold medal. Did that all the way back in 2009. He happens to have 6 X Games medals to his name, by the way.
Yeah, he's a speed and style freak for a couple of years there. Had some ghost crashes take him out. Like you said, this man is the epitome of why CBD is a real thing. Like, this man has been through more injuries, gotten back up. His ankle barely works. CBDMD put some heavy work into that kid.
Check out the crowd that we've got out here right now at the Utah Motorsports Campus. Dare I say, a little more people in attendance out here than what we saw in 2018. Again, as we said before, they're going to get their runs consecutively. They'll go once, they'll come back, they'll restart, and then take their second attempt. But here we go. This is Blake Bilko Williams from Australia up first.
That is the Moon Booter, and that is a big trick he has a lot of time doing. Backflip, and it's a lazy boy is what they call it, throwing those legs forward, putting those hands all the way up. Yeah, I mean, he does that trick on 75 feet day in, day out, but you're putting in a different projection. You're taking it to this Moon Booter, which only exists within this Nitro Circus compound. It just puts you in a whole new trajectory of up instead of out, which is really puts different speeds and different spins, which is where the risk is.
Taking another look at it right here. Look as he takes off from the lip. It's very poppy, and it pops you straight up into the sky right there. So it's more of up rather than traversing out. But he makes this one look super easy as he lays back into the seat.
Man, look how sideways he got. I mean, look at the wind. No one's talked about the wind at all. Not one of these riders. I think it's maybe one of those elephant in the room kind of things.
I was going to say, it's like Fight Club. You don't talk about it. Right. The minute you bring it up, it's going to kick up. But for sure, the wind is definitely a factor. And check out the vibe out here. Look at all the people that are on hand. That lovely aerial shot here of the Utah Motorsports Campus on this gorgeous Saturday afternoon in Utah. By the way, do you know that Utah is the state of sport?
I was unaware.
Well, there you go. So, learn something new every day. So here we go. Round number 2. He's got the lazy boy flip in the books. What does he cap it off with here? Jump number 2.
See variation. It's going to be a cliffhanger flip. Look how long.
The no-hander lander was kind of a last-minute addition to that.
We kind of talked about in his head, put his hands back on. Do you think he then said, don't put your hands back on?
Who knows? He probably thought, you know what, I need a little bit more than this. I've got a little hang time. That's what happens with the Moon Booter. You got all this time up in the air, and Bilko doing what he does best, having a little fun right here and putting on a show for the fans.
Yeah. He loves breaking the rules. That is his favorite hobby.
By the way, on this trick, he was the first ever to land a cliffhanger flip to dirt.
Yeah, I mean, if that says anything about it. Imagine hooking your tippy toes to your handlebars, throwing your hands over your head, blind landing for the majority of it. But look how long he has to think about this. That's where the danger comes in. When you think too much in this sport, you react, and those reactions usually are not good. He had to wait till the last minute to take those hands off, take the brunt of the impact. That's taking a car crash.
I don't know if he had to wait till the last minute or he just decided at the last minute. I mean, watch how scary this is. It's hard to tell from this angle, but watch where he takes these hands off.
Yeah, right at the end.
That's not where you want to take the hands off if you're going to try to go into a no-hander lander. That is no bueno. He managed to get out of that one virtually unscathed, but my goodness. So
may the suspension save your life.
Oh, my goodness. I'll have to talk to him about that one later on and find out what he was thinking. So he'll get a 78.33.
Mr. Adam Jones currently up next, or may have taken a run.
So Adam Jones, one of the elder statesmen in the group out of Reno, Nevada, making another appearance out here at the Nitro World Games. Before we cut him loose and see his 2 best trick attempts out here, we had a chance to catch up with him earlier and learn a little bit more about his approach coming into this event.
I'm Adam Jones. I ride freestyle motocross. My approach is the same as it is every other year. Just be practiced up, be strong, be mentally focused. I want to go there this year and I want to ride my absolute best run.
Here comes Adam Jones cutting it loose for his first of 2 attempts.
Okay, so watch for the pump off the lip. He's gonna go upside down, hook his feet, and got it. That is awesome. Look at that execution.
Somehow, I just got third. I don't know, I must have cast a magic spell on somebody or something because I didn't see this coming, but I'm pretty excited. I got 3rd place at World Games. But did you guys know I got 3rd? I got 3rd.
It takes years to be a good freestyle rider. It's a long, tough road, and you definitely got to put in the work in all assets of your life, whatever it is.
Well, that's one gentleman right there who definitely puts in the work. You see him on social media. He's always out there practicing back home in the greater Reno, Tahoe area. And I love how he downplays when he does well at events. So like, I got 3rd, I can't believe it. Yes, you did last year, Adam, and guess what? You deserved every last bit of it. This guy is all about great extensions. Whenever he does his tricks, whether they're right side up or they're upside down, there's never anything tentative about it. And he really works hard at that. That's one of the things that he trains on, is making sure that he gets the max extension.
Him being his own worst critic has done great things for his career. Let's see what he does. Oh my goodness, that is a dead body. I mean, to have that kind of trust in your shoulder. I mean, you saw Blake before his run, literally trying to work his shoulder in to keep it in place. Adam Jones just couldn't have done more of a yoga move, like 70 feet into the air.
That's just one of those things too, when you get your feet over the bars and just watch where he puts his body into position on this. I mean, he's completely parallel over the bike right, I guess at that point, and then the backflip, you're under the bike for all intents and purposes, but I mean, it doesn't get any better looking than that when it comes to a dead body flip.
I mean, that is as textbook as it could possibly be. And Adam, the problem with Adam's riding, he makes it look too good. But realize, it's supposed to look easy. It's supposed to look smooth. That extension and that background should be everybody's Christmas card this year. But nonetheless, how amazing was that trick? I mean,
well, you talked about the shoulder being an issue. Watch his back on this one. He over-arched. That's a great look at it right there from that head-on angle. That's giving me lower lumbar pain right now just watching him come out of this.
That's as good as that trick can be done. There's not a better background or more extension or better logo placements that could be done than what he just did.
He might need one of those CBDMD bath bombs after that one for the lower back pain. He'll get an 81 flat to start that one off. So
you'll be the first to say this ramp scares him, because he's later on in his career. He's, in his mind, he should be retiring, but he's still placing at podiums. He's still getting invited to these big things, and he's still progressing, which is why he's on the motorcycle, which is why we get gifts like this.
Underpowered for attempt number 2 for Adam Jones.
Whoa, double grab! Oh, did he almost loop out? Adam Jones taking breaths away today.
And again, so much extension on that one. You watch when he grabs the cutouts right there. Watch how he just kind of throws those legs straight back and just arches his lower back to just get max hold on that trick.
Can your feet be further away from your feet pegs? So there's these seat cutouts. You can't go to your local sportsmanship dealer and get a motorcycle with those seat holes. You got to be good at this to have them. And you can see he puts his trust in a little bit of grip tape and those fox gloves, and he puts those feet as far behind him as he can. Again, like you said in the intro, Adam's going to give you extension. Adam's going to give you some of the biggest tricks you are ever going to see, and that's day in, day out in his sleep. He works harder than anybody else. Like I said, he does not like this ramp. He does not enjoy riding it. I mean, I can't say he doesn't enjoy it, but to watch him progress and to watch him do that big of tricks is astounding. With the fear, man.
He's got the extension, but another thing too is he holds it. Once he gets into the peak of the trick, he'll hold it for the max amount of time possible until he has to pull himself back onto the bike and make that rest of the rotation come all the way around. So he'll end up sticking with that first run score. So the judges are saying, hey, we like the dead body flip a lot better with an 81 flat. So that's going to keep him in second behind Bilko as of right now. Taking a look at this gentleman right here out of Gresham, Oregon. This is Bo Bamberg, another guy that you know very, very well from your time on the Nitro Circus Tours.
Yep, Hugh the Van Halen. He's from Gresham, Oregon, which is where every bass player of every band is from. And this young man is the pride of freestyle motocross in the Northwest. He has done so many shows. We call him the Basher, and you're about to find out why.
Yeah, he's got so much power, so much control when he's in the air, no matter what he's riding.
He's got Gravity Games gold, by the way. If you want to reach deep into this game, that's it. That's mental knowledge. That ain't written up there. That's from up here.
I was going to say, you dug deep for that one. You went back all the way to 2001 for that one, right?
Oh, yeah. If anybody wants to go action sports knowledge, I will go toe for toe. Bo Bamberg has just a litany of absolute medals and world's first, and like his name might get lost a little bit, but when he's riding, when he's at a show, when he's at a performance, when he's at the Nitro World Games, he is about to absolutely burn something into your memory.
Oh, he definitely makes his presence known, and I bear witness to that over the years of seeing this guy at X Games Do Tour, and even as recently with you last year, the U.S. and European Tour for the Nitro Circus shows. Check out the crowd. They just keep piling in out here at the Utah Motorsports Campus. Once these guys started taking practice runs and whatnot, as soon as everybody heard the dirt bikes firing up, it was just this sea of humanity. Everybody just came running up. Cell phones were out. They were all pressed up against the barricades. But here we go. First of 2 attempts for Gresham, Oregon's Bo Bamberg.
Get it, Bo. Oh, you can just see him. He looks like a pit bull. Under that helmet, I assume he's just barking. Is that possible? Is that correct?
He does have that menacing stare.
Oh, yeah. He will look through your soul. He is one of the scariest people. Soft-spoken, very nice. You get him on a motorcycle, he does this. Whoa!
Talking about the extension that we mentioned with Adam Jones, and Bo Bamberg gets out there and just puts on his own extension party, and man, he ragdolled out of that and just
look at him, just
shrugging his shoulders like it was nothing.
Don't get up. He's more embarrassed at himself. No, Bo, that was unbelievable. Okay, so it was a KOD flip, right? We call it a ruler flip in the show, and that's about as far as you can extend it. I mean, it's exciting out here, right? There's 1,000 people screaming at you. There's all these lights. There's money. There's sponsorships. And I mean, Bo is a veteran at this. Yeah, let's see where this thing goes wrong. Let's analyze it.
Right here. Watch the extension. Okay, look where his face is.
Man, he knows right there he's going too fast. Look him hold it. He's trying to slow down the rotation. He knows he can't wait too long. He has to get, look at the core strength of the Pasher. Putting his feet on, he's just trying to get the back end down. Oh, what do you do?
But watch at this point. He's still just kind of shoulder and chest goes into the seat.
Oh no, that is one of the toughest people I have ever seen on a motorcycle. He couldn't hold on coming down from that. That says everything about the impact. We're talking 50, 60 feet. Oh, that is terrible. Right back down. And again, Bo is tough. He rides motorcycles all of the time. Oh, he's back on it. Are you kidding me?
That's what I was going to say. Number one, he got back up right away.
What?
Number two, I mean, the crash was gnarly, and it was amazing to see him get up from that. But the extension, let's go back to the trick before it went wrong. The extension on that was absolutely ridiculous.
Once you take off that lip, there's no going back. You pump the lip is what it's called, which means you're engaging the suspension, and when you go off the top, you're going to start leaning back. Depending on how hard you lean back is how much you're going to spin. And motorcycles, you can kind of slow it down by hitting brakes. You can kind of speed it up by giving it gas. But Bo, as you can see in that position, there's nothing he could do to do any of that. He doesn't have the option. His feet are as far away as it can be.
Well, he's down there in athlete staging area, and I don't know if he's going to take a second run, but we have Lorette down there, so let's check in with her. Lorette, can you get the inside scoop on what's going on with Bo?
Guys, thank you so much. Bo Bamberg, we just saw you take a really hard hit. First question, are you okay?
Yeah, I'm good. Just a little beat up, but nothing more than normal. You know, I'm an old guy, and when you hit the ground, sometimes it beats you up a little bit. But yeah, it could have been a lot worse. And you know, I'm just glad to be out here. I'm glad you guys are enjoying the show, and thanks for coming out.
Bo, thanks so much. Guys, back to you.
Again, look at the extension on this. I'm not downplaying the crash by any means, but look at where his body is positioned right there. I mean, that's got to be one of the most maxed out positions I've ever seen anybody do on that trick.
Why is he thanking us? We should be thanking him. He put his body on the line. He tried to hold on. He looks like Evel Knievel trying to jump at Wembley Stadium. Look at this crash.
Look at him putting his hands down. He's leaned over. He's just trying to get away, and the bike almost gets him in the visor and the goggles right there.
That's a nightmare crash. That's an infamy crash. Like we talked about things being burned into your head. I was right. I am never going to forget that a day in my life.
Well, tough break for Bo Bamberg right there, but you, sir, are a gladiator. To see you get up that fast and ride away under your own power, Bo Bamberg giving us all a little bit of a scare out here, but again, good to see you up and walking, riding away. So apparently Adam Jones is our leader. We had a little bit of a scoring glitch earlier, so it is Adam Jones who is in that top spot with an 81 flat. So Mr. I can't believe I got third last year is currently sitting in that lead spot as of right now, as we are at the halfway point of the run order with this next gentleman, 23 years young, out of Odessa, Texas. If you're geographically challenged, that's out in the west half of that state right there. The Panhandle. Began riding at age 5. Friend took him to Travis Pastrana's house many, many years ago, and it all changed his life. And that's when he decided, hey, you know what? This racing thing's not for me. I'm all about the freestyle, and now he's out here at the Nitro World Games.
If I had $1 for every story that started with, and then I went to Travis Pastrana's house, I've heard so many of them. That's Duffy. You got a gold out of it.
What in the world is he going to try to take off in the seat here? You see him popping up like that.
It's cool. I like it though. It's called freestyle for a reason, right? There's no coaches.
I wasn't knocking it. I was just loading you with that question.
Something different. Look at his motorcycle. There's some sort of extendo on the foot peg down there. Do you see it on the right foot? That's a little interesting. I like it. I'll take spot mod. I don't care if it makes it something cooler. I like stunts. People call it action sports. I disagree with the nomenclature of the whole thing. I think it's.
You're not a fan of that term?
No, man. This is a stunt. This isn't a game. This is a man risking it for fun and for progression and for himself. And he's going to do something he's not comfortable with for himself, but to also please 10,000 people.
So he's going to attempt, from what it looks like from our vantage point, that he is going to start this trick, whatever it's about to be, because we have no idea.
I love it.
He's going to stand on the back of the seat. Sometimes you'll see these guys stand on the side of the seat. Do we call it jet ski takeoff? What is Davey Johnson bringing to the party here at the Utah Motorsports Campus?
Seat stand decade! That was cool. What kind of crazy circus mechanism does he have on that motorcycle?
How did that just happen?
That was cool. Shout out to Ruel Erickson, right?
That's exactly who I was thinking of in my mind when I saw that.
How cool is that?
First time I ever saw that kid do that over a BMX dirt jump on a bike.
Do you remember when Travis had it at the X Games and he tried that backflip bar?
He tried to bar spin that thing and it all just came apart. What sort of apparatus is going on to? You're not supposed to be able to rotate your bars all the way around like that on a dirt bike, ladies and gentlemen.
What kind of detangler can you make the mechanism work with brake fluid? How?
Watch where he takes off right here.
What on earth is going on here?
We call that a decade in the BMX world right there when you're swinging yourself around the head tube of your BMX bike, but I don't know what the moto guys are going to want to call it. Either way, call it made, courtesy of the Lone Star State's Davey Johnson.
I love it. Put it in the top 10. That is an amazing,
look at that angle.
Amazing trick.
Ooh, he was a little rider. The back end was swabbing out to the right on that one.
I don't. Can you turn with that? Can I ride that motorcycle? Hello? Can the producer get me on that?
I'm gonna have to go down there and go take a good look at that thing. I saw him in the pits yesterday, and I didn't go take a look at his bike. But I'm gonna have to go eyeball that thing right now and find out how the mechanics of that all works. I didn't even think about that until after he made it. I was like, oh yeah, oh wait a minute, your bars aren't supposed to turn.
Maybe we should make more rules. Maybe we should make more inspection. No, absolutely not. Take less rules.
Look at how excited Travis is right now. He's like, hey, you know what? I tried to do that back at the X Games a long time ago, and my bike came apart. 88.33, Davey Johnson, the 23-year-old, now sits atop the standings here.
That was memorable. That was absolutely memorable. I love this competition.
And you don't have to take your second run, by the way. You do get 2 runs, but if you feel that you got what you needed to do out of the way the first time around, the rules state you don't have to take your second run. So I'm going to guess the helmet's off. He's hanging out over there with Lorette. He's done. He's like, I did what I came here to do. Why do it again?
That is an absolutely amazing trick. That explains the seat stand. That explains all the things being covered. There's a whole lot being swung around on that. I mean, we call it a world's first in the World Games family. And yeah, ain't never seen that before. And again, that's one of those, I'm on Instagram and Facebook constantly trying to find what's going on, and I've never seen anything like that before.
Well, we're about to find out more about what's going on because we're going to send it down to Lorette. Once again, he's hanging out down there in athlete staging.
Davey Johnson, what the heck do you call that trick?
The Trump turn.
Obviously a man of few words, but you just parked your bike over here, grabbed your heart. That must have scared you.
I was so scared. But when Travis is here, you got to bring out the A game.
Okay. Davey, great job.
Thank you.
Guys.
Let's take another look at it right here. Started off with his feet on the back of the seat and just slingshots himself around the front end of the dirt bike.
Wow.
And rides away like a champ and puts himself in the top spot here.
What a life. Imagine training all the time, figuring out that trick, doing it on a huge stage, barely riding away from it, and then Lorette Nickel comes and starts talking to you. I wouldn't have a lot of words to say either.
Yeah, you can come up, you got Travis Pastrana patting you on the back, all smiles and telling you how awesome that was, and then you get your interview with Lorette. But look at how he can't believe this right here.
Welcome to the big leagues, homie. You're going to love it here.
Well, welcome to the big leagues and welcome to the top of the leaderboard as of right now. So we're halfway through the field, so there's only 4 riders left that stand between him and a possible win out here. However, It is not over yet. We still have 4 other riders left to go, including 2 past champions in Pat Dowden and Greg Duffy, who are still yet to come here in the run order. Greg Duffy is up next. This guy's done it before. He got the win back in 2016 with a double front flip. Can he do it again? Let's take a look back right now to how he got his victory in 2016.
Here we go, double front flip. It looks like we're not waiting on this. Double front flip. Greg Duffy, we didn't even get up. He just rode out of a double front flip. The most insane.
My name is Greg Duffy. I am from Churchton, Maryland. I started racing when I was 7 years old. Did all the amateur nationals, went up to the professional ranks. Soon got into freestyle after that.
Greg Duffy, defending champion, coming at it right now.
Oh no, oh no. Oh, throws it away. He just got hung up on the top there.
You don't realize how high he is. That is a hard impact.
We get used to seeing guys crash, but them getting up and walking away is always good.
This is life, and you know, I'm fully pinned, whether I'm on my bike or not. I'm looking forward to the next World Games.
Well, here is your next chance, Mr. Duffy. That was back in 2016. That year was his first ever freestyle competition, and he brought that double front flip. And did you see the landing on that, Micah? He was literally leaning forward, put his chest and gut into the bars and whatnot. I remember watching that happen that night back at the Ricycle Stadium just on the other side of Salt Lake City, and that was just absolutely insane. And he went into the history books that night, got himself a win. He needs to beat a top score right now of an 88.33, being held on to by Davey Johnson.
Oh boy, there's the ride of a lifetime. Front flipping on the moon booter, throwing a variation, we call it the heel clicker. Duffy, I mean, he's an ex-motocross racer. I mean, he put in the time doing, do you know how hard it is to be even a semi-professional motocross racer? You could be the best freestyler in the world, which he's kind of proven.
So watch the heel clicker, and then it's almost like he's trying to kick back a little bit because he doesn't put the feet right back on, almost like he wants to go into a Superman.
Yeah, and I don't see any flip levers, so that makes it about 40 times harder to actually get yourself around. As you can see, that's all upper body. Yeah, there's no flip levers there. That is all, he's using his face to get that motorcycle around. That's a creative way to get it done, but the alternative.
Oh, did you see that left foot? Watch that left toe and the left boot.
Yeah,
you won't see it from that angle, but it's fallen off that peg. It's barely hanging on.
And that's what happened on the world distance record jump. We broke an ankle. You can ride away and still break your ankle. Like, those boots are some of the strongest in the business, and still, you're only human, man. Look at that. We describe that color as bald eagle, in case you're wondering.
It's very patriotic. So 86 flat for him. He's going to take another run right here.
Yeah.
What is he going to do this time around? I saw him working on that all weekend since I got out here.
That's a hard trick.
But he heel clicks into it before he's even really dipped down into the front flip. That, to me, is what is so crazy to watch with that trick.
300-pound motorcycle, you have to move it with your wrists. Good luck. What do we got here?
Oh, the front flip, Captain Morgan.
Oh, play stupid games, win stupid prizes. Is that how the game is set? What is going on?
You might have just made the quote reel right there.
I mean,
watch out for that back fender, buddy.
You are toying with consequences beyond immeasurable capabilities, doing a trick to make me laugh. I love you, Duffy. It's called the Captain Morgan.
Look at where he's at before he goes in. Did you ever think that you would see someone try to just clown themselves in front of the crowd in the middle of a front flip? That's where we're at. That front flips have become so controlled that you can do that. You can put 1 foot on the bars, 1 foot in the seat, your hands on your hips, and look over at people and make eye contact.
Oh, that's as good as you can get out of that. Look at, how are you toying with this?
Look at how he just lawn darts himself. His body's completely parallel to the ground, and he's looking over at the crowd right there.
I take it back. That's my new Christmas card right there. Please get on my lists. Send me an Instagram.
Oh my goodness.
How is that possible? What is like it's freestyle, right? Anything you want to do is awesome. And this guy's like, man, I could win $30,000, or I could do a front flip Captain Morgan to make my friends laugh.
Well, that's good. It's, you know what? The first version was good enough to slide him in second. So it's Johnson, Duffy, Jones. Your 1, 2, 3 as of right now. As we look into athletes staging there, yet again, you see that's William Vandenpute, who's coming up next.
Duffy rules. He is so much fun out there. Oh, I'm so glad he's in this contest.
All right, let's check in one more time with Lorette, who's down there with Greg right now.
Second.
Greg Duffy is having a great time down here. Was that a Captain Morgan front flip?
Yeah, that was a Captain Morgan front flip. I actually landed one in practice. I was feeling pretty good going into that. Just had the front end a little bit too high and just manualed out of it.
Well, great job. Thanks for making everyone laugh and making eye contact with the crowd.
Awesome. Thank you, guys.
Guys.
That's what's so baffling to me about that whole thing. He didn't just do it. He held it, and he looked at everybody. He was mean-mugging everybody in the front row right there. Look at this.
Straight eye contact.
Look at it. And just holds the pose.
Little captain in you?
Hey, exactly.
Man, that's a great
Come on, you're doing a front flip, and you've got your front boot up on the bars right there.
Like, we do a lot of shows. I do a ton of performances and fairs and festivals all over the world, and that trick is a crowd pleaser. Never seen it in a front flip. The wherewithal to that is incredible.
That one's going to be a campfire story that I'm going to tell for years and years and years to come. I've seen a lot of crazy things on dirt bikes over the years, but that one, that was entertaining.
I love action
Thank you,
sports.
Greg.
I love action sports because you don't always have to have an answer to why. You don't need the answer. Why? Because it was awesome. That's a good enough reason for anything.
Speaking of awesome, this next gentleman right here, William Vandenputte, the first ever Belgian rider to backflip a dirt bike. Started riding bikes when he was only 8 years old and then started racing motocross back in 1995. He actually has podiumed at this event before. He finished out in second place back at the 2017 installation of the Nitro World Games when it came to FMX Best Trick.
I love the international flair. It's just to watch freestyle motocross progress. I mean, the internet has an awful lot to do with it. It's cool to see that, you know, such an international cast.
So taking a look at our standings right now, Adam Jones sitting in that number 3 position with that 81 flat with the dead body flip. You got Greg Duffy right there with an 86 flat from that front flip heel clicker to Superman. And then Davey Johnson holding that top spot right now. The 23-year-old from Texas brought a brand new one to the Nitro World Games with some crazy customized handlebars to, we're calling it the decade, I guess, right?
It has to be a decade. There's no other way around it. That is a BMX trick done on a motorcycle. I assume, is it Bluetooth? Is that how you make the brakes work? I don't understand. How do you shift? There's so many questions.
We're going to have to go down there and figure all that out once we get off air. Either way, call it done and call him your current leader right now.
Spot mod. I love the spot mod. What a crazy, crazy turn of events. If you'd have told me 10 years ago I'd have seen that today, ever. Even if you told me tomorrow it happened yesterday, I'd be on YouTube.
It's unbelievable. And going back to something that Colby Raha said when he was at the host desk with Todd Richards earlier, is that, you know, they're talking about all the crazy things that have gone on the sport. I'd never say never, because the minute you say never, somebody comes out and does the things that you said never about a year and a half later. And look at the progression. Look where we're at right now.
Yeah.
I mean, the backflip came around, what, 2000, 2001, and then everyone started doing the right side up tricks and the backflips, and then the double backflip came in, and then everyone started doing double backflip combos, and now guys are throwing doubles and front flip combos like it's nothing.
You're one of the best announcers in the game. Remember when you used to say video game tricks?
Yeah.
You don't say that anymore because we're past that.
I still kind of do, but
we've done things that past even computer programmers can think about on these things. The creativity level, how many ways can you dunk a basketball? About 6. How many ways can you jump this ramp? We're about to find out.
After you think that they've reached the limit, somebody comes out with something brand spanking new, and we've already seen that today out of Davey Johnson, but we still have 3 riders left to go. This Belgian rider is in the chute right now, ready to come out and wow the crowd. I would try to pronounce his hometown, but I would probably butcher that, so we'll just leave it at he is from Belgium.
Yeah, so you know he's a good time instantly. And you can see, you're gonna see sponsors and see like where the guys are riding, like the Masters airbag. Like this guy has access to training facilities that weren't available in the past 5 years. Like with all this progression, and Nitro World Games and Nitro Circus Live have a ton of influence on that. Pastrana obviously pushing the progression through safety has always been his moniker, and because of that, this sport will never not stop progressing.
So lots of things going on out here. It is an action-packed Saturday afternoon out here at the Utah Motorsports Campus for yet another installation of the Nitro World Games. We started things off with Super Hooligan Flat Track Racing qualifying. We had some Nitro Rallycross. Now we're in FMX Best Tricks. We've got quarter pipe high air coming up after this, more rally, and then more Hooligan Flat Track Racing. I can't believe we're packing all this into one day.
Yeah, they know how to do it, man. This is definitely an events company. We're doing events. Here we go.
Oh my goodness.
Looks like he was stomping out a fire on his handlebars. All right, looking like he's getting up. Like that's the difference in life. Like he is currently in the air, probably has to put a finger or a hand back where it needs to be, which is just another Sunday.
Well, that glove's coming off pretty quick. Maybe he just kind of got his finger caught on one of the, oh, just shredded the glove right there. That got torn pretty good.
Best case scenario. It looked like he was just trying to kick his handlebars. I think that was another Captain Morgan front flip.
I was going to say the same thing. It looked like he was trying to do the captain again in the front flip.
He just kind of stomps his handlebars. What a ride that was.
So it's a...
Again, it's a joke trick, but done at this level, I love it. I love action sports. I
don't know if we can say that because there's nothing joking about throwing yourself into a front flip with a 250-pound motorcycle underneath your feet, but
so what's your...
He didn't go for the hands on the hips on this one. The hands just kind of stayed off to the side.
It's still kind of a cool trick in that. Like, it's sort of a... It's a flatland trick. You ever see when they do the spins where one foot's on the handlebars? And then, like, yeah, that's kind of what it is.
Our flatland friends are going to be mad that we didn't know the name for that.
All three of them are very disappointed. Oh, my goodness. What a shot to the face he took. Oh, no.
And it looked like the left side of the bars might have got him in the lower stomach region right there. But after that slow-mo shot right there, it made that crash look extra gnarly. But Mr. Van den Putte is going to get back up and take his second round. That is one tough Belgian.
I mean, your favorite athlete might do an end zone dance. Mine gets up after falling 7 stories from the sky. This is a tough human being, tougher than any other athlete you will ever see in your life.
Okay, strategy. Do you do that again, or do you throw something else?
You do.
What would you do?
I know in my life, when I fall and do riding, it'll torment me in my nightmares. I have to do it again. I have to pull it, or I can't sleep at night.
Okay, here we go. Attempt number 2 for William Van den Putte.
And
what? Maybe that's what he was trying to do the first time around. He wasn't trying to get the foot up on the crossbar there. He was just trying to get it over.
Yeah, he definitely.
It just got hung up.
Gave it all he got. I mean, when you start taking hands and limbs off while you're spinning, you start slowing down instantly. So I mean, that was way more stretch than the first one. Maybe he went a little bit faster, but if you're going to stretch that far, you got to pin it, brother.
What in the heck is going on here? Hands come off first in the front flip, then you've got the right foot.
Cool style.
I mean, you're not even holding on to the bike.
You know what that is? That's a no-handed candy bar. Think about it.
You know what?
Think about it.
You're absolutely correct.
Shout out Matt Hoffman for inventing the candy bar.
Brian Blyther would have been very, very happy of that assessment if he was listening to the show right now. Look at this.
Oh, that is cool. That's good style, right?
You're holding on to a 250-pound. You're not even holding on to it. It's resting against the underside of your left boot.
Yeah, so your 2 big toes on your left foot is holding 250 pounds of a motorcycle. What?
I'm going to have to go talk to him after this because I wonder if that's what he was trying to do the first attempt and that foot just didn't get all the way over. He just didn't have enough pop. Either way, that was gnarly looking.
That's a cool trick. That is a really stylish, really cool trick. And we talk about style, it's not something you learn. It's something you either have or you possess or it's something you want to develop into something. And that was a really unique way of doing that trick. I've never seen, assuming that was a no-handed candy bar, I've never seen that in my life.
Well, he's going to have to settle for 6 right now, so it's still Davey Johnson in the top spot, followed by Greg Duffy and Adam Jones. You're 1, 2, 3 with 2 riders left to go, but we've got a powerhouse coming up right now. This is Josh Sheehan. Before we unleash him here for his 2 attempts, let's learn a little bit more about him right now.
G'day, I'm Josh Sheehan from West Australia. I grew up on an orchard, had a bit of room on the farm and just always rode motorbikes when I was younger and loved just doing jumps, tricks, going fast, and it kind of just led into a freestyle competition which lit the fire, and yeah, next minute I'm here. The tricks have progressed so far. We've got a lot more people doing double flips. I didn't have to do anything before, but now I have to step up. It's great. It's pushing the sport. It's pushing us. We keep feeling like we're getting to the end, but new stuff just keeps coming out, or get bigger ramps so we can just get more done on the ramp.
So he had a heck of a crash out here last year. He still walked away with a 3rd place finish out here in this event, but he had a pretty gnarly crash. You saw some slow-mo highlights of it right there, but this guy is a beast. I mean, he's just a monstrosity of a human being, works out all the time, takes great care of himself, so when he bounces off the ground and he gets in these crazy situations, he walks away from it unscathed. He was one of the first guys I ever saw do a double backflip and bounce and get up like it was nothing. And speaking of double backflips,
yes! What on earth? He's the only person to have ever done a triple backflip, He is the battle he had at X Games 2 weeks ago was memorable to say the least. He definitely has a vendetta here where he did a crazy trick last year and whatever. But this man is hungry. This man wants to win. And the height of this trick has claimed careers. This trick has taken a catastrophe on people, and he has the audacity to take his hands off at that height, spot his landing. Can you name a better big air rider than Josh Sheehan?
It's crazy. He gets into that first rotation. He's still coming all the way around for it. Hands are off. He extends it, hangs onto it, gets back to the bars, and then yanks for that second rotation. But it doesn't even look like he's working hard for it. It's just easy for him right there. And the landing was just super, super smooth.
Oh, is that good? Again,
I mean, you would think at that point, once your hands are back on the bars, you're yanking for everything that you've got, trying to get that second rotation around. But no, that was just
casual.
Butter.
That's the word. Casual. Like it's just strolling down to get a smoothie. Right?
For him, that would almost be like, okay, I got that one out of the way. Now I'm ready to do what I really want to do. And I think we might get a snippet of what we saw him try last year.
Imagine
I'm going to walk that plank.
Your setup trick has bought houses for people. Come on, dude.
I mean, basically, you just broke it down. Attempt number 2 for Josh Sheehan.
What did you do? Oh,
that's what I thought. Oh, he's going to get it out.
Oh, was that close? And again, you might think this is not consequence. This is not dangerous. He just took a shot. He comes from a family of gold glove boxers. This man has fought his whole life, whether he liked it or not. He is back on his feet after falling roughly 6 stories from the ground. What an animal.
Not even the height. But on top of that, you're rotating with a double backflip. Just the gravity of the G-forces of that alone, plus the weight of the bike as well, and you're all tangled up with it.
Flip number 1. So you have to now take your feet, put them to the ground, yep. So your wrists are not holding all the weight. Now you have to get your feet back on the pegs and then crank that second flip around, because if you don't, it's going to be a rough night. And here's where the problem is, just a little under-rotated. The suspension tried to take it. There's nothing he can do. The headshot to remind you you're alive. Yeah, that sucked. Oh, that wasn't fun. What a rough ride for Sheehan.
With the front tire dab, this one will give you a real good look at it right here.
What extension. Look.
Watch the yank. Once he gets back on,
his feet's kind of looking for the pedal or for the other peg. Cranks it, just putting all the juice he can into the back wheel, hoping it comes around. And yeah, let's get some sound.
You can hear him just revving out of that second rotation, and at real-time speed from that angle right there, you can see him take that head slap right there on the landing as he slides away. But Josh Sheehan is in that top spot, which was by virtue of the first trick with the double backflip no-hander. So he was in that top spot. He didn't even need to have to come out and do that, or didn't have to come out and do that, I should say. So it's Sheehan, Johnson, and Duffy. That bumps Adam Jones out of the top 3. Tough break for Adam, but it's Sheehan, Johnson, Duffy, your 1, 2, 3 with one more rider to go. It just so happens to be last year's champion, Mr. Pat Bowden. By the way, Josh Sheehan, I said he finished 3rd last year. I didn't correct myself. It was 2nd.
Yep. Pat's only got big tricks. His trick repertoire is gigantic only. And front flip Christ air. Yo! That was a thing of beauty.
Got a little scary there. I was like, you get too much pop, and then it throws you a little too far forward on that front flip rotation.
Yeah.
But he made short work of that one there.
Lots of weight, Playboy. You just made some moves.
His Nitro World Games FMX best trick career has been nothing but podiums. In 2016, it was a 2nd place. In 2017, it was a 3rd place, and then he stepped it up last year and walked out of here with the big win. Look at this, everybody.
I mean, you snap your neck back, it doesn't get any better than that. He loses line of sight, which means he makes the variation. More important than the spin, which is something the judges absolutely want to see. So he snaps off that lip, right? Takes his heels, cranks it back, and watch his head. That's all the difference. The fact he can get 100% for that 90-degree up and down aerial. I mean, there was no lack of extension. I mean, last year he tweaked his body just a hair more on the other end of that trick, but that might be enough, to be honest, to take it away. That is such a unique trick. He couldn't have executed it truly much better. I mean, he has a 2nd go. I don't know if he needs it, but yeah, this guy just eats Nitro World Games trophies.
And I don't know that he's going to have to take a 2nd run right there, because looking at the scoring monitor over here, he's got a 96. We're into the 90s. He doesn't have to even take this 2nd run. He's won this thing Yet again, last man to ride. You get 2 attempts, but why take the, I thought he was going to go.
Nah.
He's just over there.
I get it. You came
waving to the crowd.
You practice all year for this. You just didn't want to do the one trick. There's no reason to push it. Just go enjoy yourself. Get yourself on that podium. Go talk to the beautiful Lorette Nickel. And
you know what this means?
This is the next one.
In his 4 appearances here at Nitro World Games, he's never not podiumed.
Wow.
He's got a 3rd, a 2nd, and now back-to-back firsts.
Yeah, he is definitely a bright, shiny star in the world of freestyle motocross. Done a bunch of shows with him, but definitely he flourishes in this setting. This one jump super trick contest style format definitely lends itself to Pat Bowden more than everybody else, apparently.
He's also set another record because he's the first repeat winner when it comes to FMX Best Trick here at Nitro World Games. Duffy won the inaugural one in 2016. Harry Bink in 2017. By the way, shout out to Harry Bink. Wish you well in recovery. Harry injured himself in practice yesterday, so we're sending you well wishes, Harry. We'd like to see you back in the lineup soon. And then Pat last year with the win, and he wins it, so our first repeat winner as well. But how about that career here at Nitro World Games?
I mean, that puts him in the likes of Ryan Williams. I mean, I believe he's the only other one to kind of make those moves, but yeah, what a crazy, crazy contest.
Oh my goodness, what an appearance out here by Pat Bowden. Let's check in one more time with Lorette, who is down there with Pat.
Well, the first question that I just asked Pat Bowden was, how high is your heart rate?
It's pretty high.
Now, you told me that you've been working 11 days straight to perform here and do a world's first. Pat Bowden, that was unbelievable. Nitro World Games is here, and it's trying to stretch your comfort levels. How far was your stretch today?
Yeah, that's right. I only had 11 days to learn this world first trick. And coming into it, I had the idea. I didn't know if it was possible. And I had so many problems, like thing after thing that I had to overcome, and I just kept pushing. Gave it 150% effort, but I knew I was going to win. So these old guys, they got to step up their game, you know.
Oh, I think the gauntlet's being thrown down in the pits down here. The guys can hear you. But what were some of those challenges that you had to fight through?
So my compound's like 4 hours from where I live, so to relocate my training facility 4 hours so I could ride every day. I relocated to the first place. We got shut down by the council because of noise complaints after 1 day of practicing. So we had to load everything up again, transport it another 200 kilometers down the road. And by this time, we were like running out of time. Well, I don't even think this is possible, but I've come too far to give up. So yeah, I don't know what to say. I'm so happy right now.
That's unbelievable. Guys, the determination, the strength, and the tenacity of Pat Bowden, your 3-time Nitro World Games Best Trick champion. Congratulations. Back to you.
And he also called out the old guys.
I heard that. I snapped
The old guys got to step it up. That might get a little dicey there once they get back to the pit area, but take another look at it here on the Christ Air front flip.
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't get much better performance. Looking like one of them Olympic divers, you know, holy divers.
Is that a Dio reference you just made right there?
Yes, it is. A holy diver.
Look at you, sir. I like it.
Doing my best. Trying to keep it fun.
Digging deep into your 80s metal roots right there. So I'm going to get you to walk a plank right here. Look at the scoring differential we saw. I mean, Josh Sheehan did a double backflip no-hander. What do you think the judges liked so much about the front flip Christ Air to make that such a huge gap in the scoring?
It's a world's first, and Josh definitely did the double back KOD last year, which almost ripped him naked. He fell so hard.
Yeah, we had a jersey issue last year.
Yeah, wardrobe malfunction. I mean, it was just done as perfect as you can. Pat always wears that white to be seen. I mean, people might think it's goofy and he looks a little different, but...
Speaking of world's first, we had another one with the young man from Texas, Davey Johnson, with what we're calling the Decade Air. We'll have to check in with him and get an actual name for that a little bit later on. Either way, it's never been done before, and he brings it to the party out here at Nitro World Games in 2019. He gets 3rd place. Josh Sheehan walks out of here in 2nd this year, and FMX Best Tricks with this double backflip no-hander, making it look way, way too easy, Micah.
Yeah, I mean, the extension, the way he just stays not tucked. If you see his hips go to his handlebars, he's in trouble. He is in a nice, relaxed, comfortable position, just like he's riding down the street, man. That is intense.
But when it's all said and done, the day belongs to Pat Bowden, bringing another never-been-done trick to the event.
Man, to take your hand off the landing, and he says he's a training facility. This ramp doesn't exist. He can't train on this ramp. So he had to come out here, now learn the 11 days of the trick, now contort it to what this ramp is, what this landing is, what this angle is, props for the hard work, props for the tenacity and being brave, and that is a really, really beautiful stunt.
I mean, it doesn't get any better looking than that. It puts that one down butter smooth, and it lets him walk out of here with the win. That's 2 years in a row, our first repeat winner when it comes to FMX Best Tricks here at the Nitro World Games.
Yeah, look at that. We got a beautiful girl giving out all sorts of trophies. This is what all the hard work is about, man. This is what the life is for.
Davey Johnson finishing out in 3rd place right there, getting his trophy, standing on the podium there. And again, that decade, it was wild. And I'm going to have to go take a look at his bike because I want to know what happened. What he did to the bars to make that work.
It's neat to see technology progress the sport. I love seeing it.
Back-to-back years defending his 2018 championship here in Utah. Let's give it up for Pat Bowden winning gold at Nitro World Games 2019.
Check out that podium.
That's some hitters right there.
Just think about what just happened here. Your podium in 2019 for Best Trick. You've got a decade, you've got a double backflip no-hander, and you've got a Christ Air front flip.
Let's go down the list. First place, world's first front flip variation, unbelievable. Josh Ian, 2nd place. The trick he tried is arguably the most dangerous, scariest trick ever that he fell on, the double flip KOD. 3rd place, world's first. You want to play in this game, there's your level.
Yeah, you've got 2 world's first, and one of them is only good enough to get you 3rd place out here. That was absolutely ridiculous. What an amazing competition out here. Your final thoughts before we say goodbye for this part of this, because we got to get ready for the next one.
I'm excited to see what happens in Wales. It's going to be a whole different demographic, whole different crew. It's going to be good.
So here it is, one more go. Looking at your podium here, your Nitro World Games FMX Best Trick podium here in 2019. Davey Johnson starting off on the seat, brings it all the way around, 360 around the front of the bike. We call it a decade in the BMX world. And well, you're just not supposed to be able to do that on a dirt bike there, Mr. Kranz.
You are absolutely right, Jimmy.
Josh Ian, what you've called arguably one of the scariest looking tricks in the books, the double backflip no-hander right there, but he puts that one down super smooth. But at the end of the day, it's Pat Bowden who walks out of here with the win with the Christ Air front flip. Look at it.
That is a thing of beauty. What a neat stunt.